bad Nazis are fighting bad Russians, then who are the baddies? And if bad Nazis are definitely bad, why are Facebook not banning the bad Nazis no more? Things people talk about with social media is its ability to mine your attention and to control your behavior. You can see now how the conversation in our culture is being used to manipulate being itself. Michel Foucault, a great French philosopher, pretty left-wing, talked about biopolitics, controlling life itself. Well, perhaps we've gone even deeper. Consciousness politics. What you're allowed to think, which I suppose is obviously an Orwellian idea, is being manipulated at scale. Narratives continually changing, a bewildered population with no choice but to behave as a herd, no ability to trust your own emotion and your own instincts and your own life and your own community and your own values and your own tradition and your own history, because everything is changing all the time because there are no clear values and principles. These are the only weapon we have against this war against our freedom, the cultivation of our own values and principles, and some I might suggest our tolerance of other people, a willingness to openly communicate and converse with people you disagree with, not entering into discourse with certainty, always knowing I might be wrong, I'm not sure, I don't know, what do you think, what do you feel, how can we do this together? I suppose then it is beholden on us to even have an open heart towards our oppressors, towards these censors, towards those that would never offer us the same freedom. I'm of course not saying the Russian invasion of Ukraine is not wrong. I'm not saying that I don't stand with Ukrainian people or acknowledge the horror that they are enduring. We're talking about something separate, distinct, but connected to this issue. The ability for people like you and me to speak freely, to communicate openly, to try to reach conclusions peacefully and not to be afraid of our own thoughts and our own minds. The relentless parade of panics listed above, just a small sample, we've had dozens just in the last few years, make those victories easy. And every time we switch targets from Russians to neo-Nazis to cops to transphobes to insurrectionists to the unvaccinated to truckers and back to Russians again, the church of forgetting picks up new converts. Now free speech and peace advocacy are universally understood to be stalking horses for fascism. Once Russia invaded Ukraine, the cultural vocabulary was whittled to one compound thought, approximately this: Putin is the ultimate evil, we hate him, war is good, and peace undesirable, even if necessary. It's all yet another expert wiping away of memories. Even when there's real fighting going on in a faraway land, the real target is always the domestic population, whose memories and doubts and distracting emotional attachments are the real threats and must be constantly policed. Wonderful writing there from Matt Taibbi. You might consider subscribing to him. What a brilliant writer he is. Personally, what it has evoked in me is the understanding that whilst there is very clearly a geopolitical military problem happening in Ukraine, it is a complex situation that involves neo-Nazis, history, resources, biolabs, NATO. The real focus should be ending the conflict. Should we agree on that? Providing a favourable outcome to the people that are in reality affected, Ukrainians, the many people in Russia who oppose this war and see it as imperialist and undesirable, the same as I do, the same as I assume you do, wherever you would have seen yourself on the meaningless political spectrum, because we know it's meaningless now, because it's ever shifting. Where my focus is, and where I invite you to put your focus, is on this attempt to control all discourse, not just involving this matter, because a couple of weeks ago it was something else. And in another couple of weeks, it will be another matter. And in another 6 months, something else. And each time our ability to communicate and to come together is being further eroded. The possibility that we might form our own communities and values and principles is being closed down on. But there is a counter argument. Many of us can see what they are doing. Many of us understand the censorship, the dilution, the homogenization, not as being in the pursuit of some noble goal, but to be precisely the opposite. In point of fact, the real threat of fascism appears to be coming from those that most claim to oppose it. But that's just what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. What do we do next? Where do we go from here? How do we continue to have conversations about complex ideas like this? How do we keep our public spaces free? How do we regulate conversation? How do we prevent ourselves being bludgeoned and cudgeled into idiocy by a machine that don't want me and you and me to be free? I don't know. Let's communicate it together. Give this video a like if you enjoyed this one. Have a look at this one or one of these ones. They're all fantastic. Maybe sign up to my mailing list. And remember, I'm all over the UK. You can come see me live. There's a link in the description. Stay free.